In our last video, we were in the beautiful city of Beaufort, South Carolina. Of course, we checked out the historic downtown, learned about some of the city's history, and checked out some of the neighborhoods. In this video,
we're in Port Royal, South Carolina.
For context, we visited Port Royal in the middle of March of 2025. We'll start with some views of the waterfront, and then we'll show you the main street of downtown.
We started at the Sands Beach. Port Royal sits between Battery Creek and the Beaufort River. If you watched our Beaufort video, you may remember that Beaufort and Port Royal sit on Port Royal Island, an interior sea island in what is known as the South Carolina Lowcountry. And here's a fun fact, the hurricane scene in Forrest Gump was filmed in this dock area.
All right, today we're in Port Royal. We actually just came from Beaufort, which is fantastic. Should be the video before this one. And yesterday we were in Charleston, which is a video we posted maybe 2 or 3 years ago, so check that out. Anyways, this is an unplanned stop as we were leaving Beaufort. We just looked on the map and saw this, had no idea what to expect, but actually it looks like there's kind of 2 little mini downtowns that we're gonna check out. We obviously started at the water, have a lot of water from the last few videos, so we're gonna focus on these little downtowns, so come along with us, let's check it out. All right, to clarify, there's only one downtown. There's just sort of 2 different places that a lot of people were congregated at. The main street downtown, which is the majority of this video, and then at the very end of the video, you'll see this sort of waterfront area with, looks like several restaurants, bars, and there was a ton of people there on this particular day too.
Port Royal was founded in 1562, and it was an important city for Spanish, French, British, and Scottish explorers due to its prime coastal location with the only natural deep water harbor on the east coast. In fact, the north-south roads are named for the capitals of these nations: Paris, London, Madrid, and Edinburgh. Paris Avenue is the primary commercial street in the historic center of Port Royal, known as the Old Village.
Since this was an unscheduled stop, we had no idea what to expect. We found this main road, and as usual, we went down one side with the idea of taking it to the end and then returning back on the other side.
So despite being founded in 1562, this city was not officially incorporated until 1874, more than 300 years later. The current population of Port Royal is about 14,200, which includes the population of Paris Island, which was annexed in 2000.
This particular day started off beautiful, and actually we filmed earlier in the day in Beaufort, which is just next door. And what we learned is that sometime in the next roughly 24 hours, we were going to get hit with a major storm. So we really rushed to try to get this one in before we were grounded in the hotel room the entire next day.
Now we're approaching the Port Royal School. It was built in 1911. It is the second oldest active elementary school in South Carolina, and it is on the National Register of Historic Places. A single-story addition was added in 1954 and a second addition in 2002.
For context, this was filmed on a Saturday afternoon. We were a little surprised there weren't a lot of people down here, but as we'll see later in the video, there is a spot located in downtown on the water where there were a lot of people, and that's when we realized it was the closest weekend to St. Patrick's Day.
We're coming up on an old train car and train depot. When the railroad came to Port Royal, this city flourished. The station was built in 1870 and had continuous operation until 2006, although the last passenger trains came in the mid-1950s.
And as you can see, these buildings retain a historical personality.
Here you can see the Port Royal Cypress Wetlands, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. And this was cool. This restaurant sits in an old one-room schoolhouse. The Port Royal Cypress Wetlands serves as a habitat for birds and wildlife, and it also provides a place for stormwater runoff. Every fourth Friday of the month, you can actually sign up for a tour.
Yeah, this was an excellent find, and one of the two places we found where all the people were congregating. The second one will come here shortly.
And speaking of congregating, the town does host several annual events: a Bands, Brews, and Barbecue Fest, an oyster roast, a soft shell crab fest, and the Low Country Food Truck Fest, just to name a few.
All right, and now we're at that second area that I referred to earlier in the video. It's maybe about 4 blocks from the main street of downtown. As you can see, it's very popular, perhaps because St. Patty's is the next day, or maybe it's just always popular, who knows. But anyways, looks like it's time to wrap this video up. All right, what do you think of Port Royal?
This was worth the drive over from Buford. It's quaint, it's cute, really cool wetlands trail here. So I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, and if you're ignorant like me, you may not know that Paris Island is just across the waterway, and the military presence is obvious once you hear. But yeah, for an unplanned stop, it's very small, but it's only maybe, what, 4 or 5 miles from Buford?
Yeah.
So Buford you absolutely have to see, and if you got a little extra time either going to it or leaving it, stop by here, and there's sort of like 2 little sections of this downtown, and the houses are colorful
The
too.
houses are really cute.
And there'll be a few in the video. So overall, yeah, this is definitely worth the stop, and I give it a thumbs up.
I do too.
All right, get off the couch and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.